Hello, my name is Jodi Scholes, and I wanted to say hi, welcome. Wanted to give you this quick, brief introduction to navigating the body. All of the classes called Navigating the Body are foundational learning. Foundational meaning muscles and movement, bones and movement, direction, so anatomy and kinesiology. Also, mark your calendars for Thursday, January 16th. There's a free class. How to sign up is in the description below, and it's going to be on anatomy and physiology of the skeletal system, the integumentary system, the muscular system, and the nervous system. We're covering a lot, yeah. But it's a free class for you because you're a subscriber on my YouTube channel. So thank you. My name again is Jodi Scholes, and I would encourage you to consider becoming a member in our Patreon community. There's different levels, so hop on over there. That link is also in the description. Our full class this week on January 9th is Navigating the Body. We're starting a 12-week cycle this week. But if you want to get started as a paid member, you can do that. So maybe you want to consider that. Happy New Year. My name again is Jodi Scholes, and I'll hopefully get to be communicating with you directly in the Patreon community. See you soon. Enjoy this little excerpt. Bye. Let's talk about movement of the shoulder blades. The movement of elevation. Elevator goes up, right? Elevation. Levator, levator scapula. Elevator scapula. The levator scapula elevates the scapula. So elevation, moving that superior border. So superior, the top border of the scapula in an upward direction. As you may have guessed, the depression, someone who is depressed is down, right? Depression of the scapula, moving that superior border down in a downward direction. Latissimus, lower parts of the trap, responsible for depression of the scapula. Also, some depression of the scapula with the serratus anterior. Let's take a look at a joint called the scapulothoracic joint, where your scapula glides across, your rib cage. The scapula can elevate, it can depress. It can also, the scapula can adduct, go towards the midline of the body, adding to the midline of the body, more commonly called retraction. So climbing the rock wall here, you see, we're going to bring those scapulas. Go ahead and pinch your scapulas together. Pinch those scapulas together. That's retraction. Retraction of the scapulas. Bring those scapulas towards the midline of the body. Retract and then protract, throwing a punch. Abducts, so moves the scapulas away from the midline of the body. Abducts the scapulas, more commonly called protracts the scapulas. And then we also have upward rotation and downward rotation of the scapulas. We're going to look at that when we look at the muscles that downwardly rotate or upwardly rotate the scapula. Just know that all of those movements are possible on the scapula, and they happen technically at the scapulothoracic joint. This is the scapula, a very pretty picture. So this is called the spine of the scapula, that bony ridge. Maybe dusting off some memories from school here. The spine of the scapula. Here's where the super up. This is the highest elevation for a rotator cuff. The supraspinatus here. Underneath the spine of the scapula is the infraspinatus, and it sits in the infraspinatus fossa. So here, right here, and you can see infraspinatus. That is one of our sits, S-I-T-S, our sits rotator cuffs. Supraspinatus, S. Infraspinatus, I. And then we've got a T and an S. I hear you. Teres minor, and subscapularis. Yeah, teres minor and subscapularis. Let's look at movement at the glenohumeral joint. In the past, we've talked about prefixes and suffixes. We've talked about the root of a word. Now, today, I'm going to tell you another term called a compound word. So 2 syllables, two words. Glenohumeral is 3 syllables. Glenohumeral, 5 syllables. Welcome to the language of science. But when we separate those 2 words, gleno and humeral, it tells us where we are in the body. And in this case, we're in the shoulder joint. Take a peek. Glenohumeral joint. So the glenohumeral joint is a ball and socket joint, and it is the shoulder. The glenoid cavity, glenoid fossa, is the home of the head of the humerus. So the ball and socket, the head of the humerus goes into humeral, glenohumeral joint. And this is where we see the action of flexion. Bringing the arms straight in front of you flexes at the glenohumeral joint. So from this direction, flexion, right out in front of you, not to the side. It is sort of still flexion, but true flexion, flexion of the glenohumeral joint, just straight out in front of you. Here you see it's kind of like handing off a baton. If you've ever watched a relay race, if you've ever watched US track and field or a track meet, and they hand off that baton, that is the true movement of flexion. The opposite is extension. So when you receive the baton, that is extension. The arm is extended behind you. That is the movement of extension at the glenohumeral joint. So we're just talking about shoulders right now. And please, 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 when you get questions about movement, make sure you know, if they're giving you a movement, make sure you know what joint you're at. Are you at the elbow? Are you at the shoulder? Are you at the knee? Are you at the hip? Right now, we're just talking about the shoulder. So these movements, I'm showing you the movement at the glenohumeral joint. All right, what did you think? It's pretty good stuff, huh? Isolating the joint and then talking about the movement at that joint, it's a key factor in answering the questions correctly. But that's all you get for right now. Yeah, you want the full version of navigating the body? Join us in class on Thursday by becoming a member. Also, as soon as you become a member, all the classes I've ever taught on navigating the body over the last 2 years are now available for you. So, thanks so much for watching. And like I said earlier, I hope to see you in the Patreon community. Have a great day.